1 p.m.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. We'll be kicking off very shortly. Let's just give 2 more minutes for our friends to join us for this live webinar. For those who are here on time, thank you very much for being here. All right, so at any point in time, if you have questions during the webinar, you can type them into the question box and we'll get to them towards the end of the session. All right, so go to your question box and type yes if you can hear me loud and clear. Just to let me know that you can find your question box and you can hear me loud and clear as well. All right, so those who are here early, a short exercise for you. Just hit your question box and let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, so we will be kicking off in about 1 minute. Thank you, Steve, for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. As always, this is Sri, your facilitator of this webinar. And in the studio, we have Ming Lam and his Trading Central colleague from Trading Central, of course. Her name is Rebecca Wong. She'll be walking you through the tools that you can have access to if you're a client with Phillip Nova, all right? So we'll be hearing from Rebecca first and then from Mingla. And then I have something really exciting to share with you as well. We have a really exciting promo that you might be really interested to find out more about. So I'll tell you more very shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. This is Sri, your facilitator of this webinar, and thank you for joining us for this webinar where we're going to be talking about the great semiconductor shakeout and Singapore's quiet rally. All right, today's webinar's title is the AI Trade Reset. What's next for semiconductor stocks and Singapore? Right, Singapore is coming from the back of several all-time highs set this year. Could we see the trend continue into the end of 2026? Okay, and today we will be discussing about the AI investment boom. It has been one of the biggest market stories for the year, but the ride has been far more volatile in recent times. All right, after surging to record highs in April and May, major semiconductor and data storage stocks have pulled back sharply, and Micron Technology has fallen more than 30% from its peak, while Sandisk has declined over 40%. In South Korea, heavy selling in memory chips has been has even triggered multiple circuit breakers. So what's driving this sudden shift in sentiment? In this, is this just a healthy correction, or is this what we're going to see in terms of the longer AI growth? All right. So and from the semiconductor stocks, we're going to dive a little bit back into Singapore. National Day has just passed for us. Happy National Day to those who are celebrating. And the index has set multiple new highs this year. Will we see more of the same for the rest of 2026? And here to tell us that is none other than Ming Lam. If you've joined us for our webinars, you know he's a very familiar guest. He's the Deputy Head of Research for Asia for Trading Central. Before we jump to Ming Lam's deck, I'm going to give sharing rights to Ming Lam's colleague, Rebecca, who's going to tell us more about the tools you can gain access to when you're a client with Phillip Nova. All right, Rebecca, just give me 1 second to give you sharing rights.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining the
webinar today, and welcome to Phillip Nover's webinar with Trading Central. This is Rebecca, and today I would like to take this opportunity to briefly introduce Trading Central, show you where you can find our products with Phillip Nover and how you can use it. Now, Trading Central, as many of you are familiar, we are founded by a team of experienced analysts in 1999 in Paris, and now we have teams globally and are licensed with SDA, CMT, and Hong Kong SEC. Now, Trading Central Indicator plugin is designed to help traders make profitable decisions 24/5. Trading Central is a unique indicator which allows traders to see our levels and strategies directly on the live chart. You can find the download link of our MT5 plugin on Phillip Nova website. Once you go to platform and Phillip MetaTrader 5 suite, if you scroll down a little bit, you can find the download link here. And once you have installed the plugin, you should be able to find Trading Central Indicator on the left-hand side of the menu bar. Now, the folder consists of 3 indicators, including NNS views, adaptive candlestick, and ADC. So if we drag and drop any of the indicator to the right and click on OK, if there's a pop-up, we should be able to find our view on the screen directly. Now we're looking at Australian dollar to Canadian dollar, and we can see, what's the resistance, what's the support as well, and pivot as well. So for example, we can see that Trading Central preference is rising. It means that it's a bullish side. And R1 and L2 and R3 is our target price, where R1 is more conservative and R2 is more aggressive. Pivot point means that once the price reaches to this point, it's we think that the environment will change and it completely turns the table by then, and that's why pivot point is always set as a stop loss point. If there's anything that you're not too sure with, you can always hover your mouse onto it, or you can actually expand the wordings on the lower right to see what's the release time as well as the kind of comment from it. And we can also look at candlestick or ADC, depends on if we are more like a candlestick person, or ADC, which is basically a MACD or RSI person. Let's say if I like candlestick more, I can then drag and drop again. Same thing, I can click on OK. If there's any pop-up, it will automatically find a 16 candlestick pattern for you. So you can already know that if there's a bullish or bearish signal. If it's bearish, it's in red. If it's bullish, it's in blue, and it's underneath the bar. Now we can see the most recent one is actually a bullish as well. So it's kind of confirmed with our house view. So it could be a good chance to enter the market. And we can always look into different sort of ADC as well, which is a MACD. I can always remove it from the indicator, or else the indicator will have, or the chart will have too many indicators on it. And once we drag and drop again, it will automatically detect for MACD and RSI what's the kind of entry point for the opportunity here. Now we do have expert advice as well. If you double click onto it, you will be able to find there are 3 more functions from Trading Central that we work with you guys. And first of all, we can always look at TC Market Bus, which basically are tools to help you to look into the stocks or cryptos or any news about the market basically. And for example, I can see that the Nifty stock has the highest sort of mention in the news, and I can understand, all right, what's happening here, what's the sentiment right now, what are the most discussed topic, and if I want to look into the news, I can find it on the right hand side as well. So we can see that the revenue increase, and it seems that the sentiment here is a little bit mixed in here, so we can give different kind of indicators with it. Now, if you are more on a feature idea, I can also look into, if it's bullish or bearish with custom settings. So you can always choose, I will always recommend you to choose the classic patterns. You can always choose other things as well. For example, overbought and oversold, and select different kind of currency pairs based on your preferences. Now I'm not going to select everything and click on done, and it will help me to, based on my custom settings, give out different kind of indicators or like what kind of things I can look at. And the most powerful thing is we do have this kind of classical patterns, which allows you to have a very clear directional mind that what's happening with this currency pair, what's the kind of patterns that's being formed right now, and what's the target. So it's actually increasing 34 pips in here. So it's very clear. You can always look at the right hand side for detailed wording as well. So I hope that this can help with your trading. It's really useful, especially when it coupled with your trading strategies. So definitely some great tools to help with your trading. And please go to Phillip Nova website and download the indicator. Thank you for your time. Next, I'll pass it back to Ming and Sui.
All right, now it's time for the main event. It is none other than Minglan. He's going to tell us more about what kind of stocks we should keep an eye on in the present moment. So, Minglan, if you're all set to go, I'm going to give you sharing rights right now.
All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this webinar, okay? And thank you, Sri and Rebecca, for the introduction. And today, as usual, we have a very eventful seminar. As usual, I have just one or two major points to make, all right? And however, we have quite a bit of charts and information, which I try to convince you of my points. All right. Now, I'm Ming Lam at Trading Central. All right. Now, my style conclusion at first. Okay. US stocks market. Okay. On the upside, still on the upside, record high after record high. I will show you. Don't worry. All right. Second, we have semiconductor stocks crash. I can say crash in July. Two driving forces. One, profit taking, and second, deleveraging. Okay. I will show you. Don't worry. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, our AI bullish market has just started, in fact, and it carries on. Okay, so today I have to thank again Phillip Nova for giving us this the best, I can say the best time slot for discussing this topic. Why? Because in the morning, this morning, we saw NVIDIA post results. Okay, you know what? NVIDIA's result is the indicator, a very good indicator of what the semiconductor sector will going forward. Okay, do you believe that? You don't? No worry, I will convince you of that. All right, and at last we will talk about Singapore's market. All right, okay. So give me 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, I will go through my points, my charts, and my information, and then we will have a Q&A session. Okay, let's go. Now, first of all, we have a look of the general U.S. stock market, S&P 500. Okay, we had just record high just a few sessions ago, 7,800 something. Okay, just a few days ago. All right. Now we have Dow Jones, also record high. Well, maybe last 2 weeks. Okay, record high 54,000, and it is still riding on a very nice uptrend. Okay, how about this one? Russell 2000, it is small cap. Okay, also record high a few sessions ago. Very nice uptrend. You can see that the US market, the bullish market is broad-based. You agree? Okay, and there's at the moment, in fact, I have nothing to worry about this market. Okay, let's look at some fundamental or macroeconomic factor. Okay, now This chart I showed every time in this Phillip Nova Trading Central webinar. This is the liquidity, global liquidity against US stocks. Okay. Now, global liquidity, M2 money supply, is the money supplied by major central banks in the US, the UK, Europe, China, and even Japan. Okay. Every time you can check back all those webinar recordings on YouTube, that every time this number, the money supply, now standing at 103,000 billion US dollar. Every time this number is bigger, okay, it's bigger and bigger. And you can see stocks, this time we saw less than 100 is in positive proportion with money supply. Higher money supply, higher stock market. Okay, now we look at some US macroeconomic data. Okay, now when we talk about US inflation, most of the time we use this piece of data, core PCE. Okay, it was just released yesterday. So I say today we have a webinar. It is the best time slot. Okay, we have all the data. This data, you can see that the inflation is easing. Okay, we have no supplies on the upside. Okay, we are going steady. And then you can see labor market. You know what? Last month we have negative non-farm payroll. That is a reduction in non-farm payrolls. Okay, it happened last April, February, something like this. And do you think that the central bank, Federal Reserve, will increase interest rate, seeing this quite a weak labor market? I don't think so. All right. Now, GDP also released yesterday. We have steady. Okay, we still have growth in the US. And US rate, okay, on the downside. On the downside, I know that there are a lot of analysts, a lot of investors saying that they are going to see increasing interest rates for the rest of the year. I disagree with that. Okay, going forward this year, I can say I believe I project that there will be no interest rate increase. There is a higher chance of interest rate reduction, lower interest rates. Okay. You see, once again, our friend, U.S. President Donald Trump. Okay, I always say Donald Trump is a good friend of us investors. Do you agree? And he said that rates should be on the downside, should drop. Okay, Ross is the new Fed chairman. Okay, and it is not up to him, right? And well, it's true. It's true. And I believe Trump will do whatever it takes to uphold his wording. Okay. Now I repeat what I have shown you in the last moment. And you see, we have inflation steady, okay, stable. We have labor market not very strong. I can say weak. We have a GDP, economic growth, still positive, and we are not going to see interest rate, U.S. interest rate, to increase, to hike in the near future or within this year. I don't think it will. The Fed will increase interest rate next year either. Okay, so in fact, it is a very bullish macro setup for stock market. Okay, very good. And don't worry, okay? I know that we have been bullish on US stocks since October 2022, almost 4 years. All along the way, we have been bullish, all the way bullish. However, at the same time, we have heard that a lot of other investors, they say we are going to see a recession, we are going to see a crash of the stock market, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happened. The stock market, as you can see, making record high after record high. Okay, now we go back to the stock market. This time, our focus on tech stock. Okay, Nasdaq 100 record high in June. Yeah, at the height of the semiconductor stock sector. Okay, after that we see a correction. I can only say a correction, 10-12%, and then boom, rebound, almost recovering all the losses. You can see. Okay, now these are all updated data. I just updated charts this afternoon, and you can see 20-day moving average is crossing above the 50-day one. Okay, very good setup, very good. Don't worry. Okay, now back to our topic. Have you come across this index? It is called Philadelphia Semi-Sector Index. It records the performance of all major semiconductor stocks. Okay, now this SOX, remember it. Okay, a lot of ETFs and a lot of leveraged ETF, whether it is 3x or minus 3x, 2x, or minus 2x ETF, are based on this index. Okay, what happened? Wow, in April, after the US-Iran war went on for almost a month, the stock market say we don't care about that, about the war. Okay, and you can see chip stocks, semiconductor stocks, boom, on the upside in 2 months, April, May, June. Okay, more than 2 months, 100%, 107% on the upside. Of course, some other stocks, chip stocks, they rose even more than 100%. I will show you. And then in June, in later part of June and most part of July, it crashed 29%. It is a lot. It is a lot. Think about that. If you are buying ETF 2x or 3x, that will be very harmful, I can say. Okay, and but now I can say we have seen the bottom, the short-term bottom, and we are finding a way to the upside. All right, now let's go. And now this purple vertical line is the date I last did a webinar with you in June. It should be June 11th. Okay, at that time I set this target level. Okay, these are the target levels I set at the last webinar. You see that Micron is the darling stock of the semiconductor sector. A lot of investor traders, they like it. Okay, and after the webinar, there was Micron, the share price, it got to our first target and then turning down. Okay, and our first target was set at $1,180 US. Okay, record high in June was 1,255, and after that it crashed 41%. All right, 41%, and then I can give you some more statistics that in last year it rose more than 200%, and at the record high this year, okay, this year 320%. Okay, this will have some business to do with the driving force I will discuss later. Okay, now Micron is one stock, another one is Intel. Okay, also record high in June, 142, it crashed 43%. All right, and at this year's high, it was up to 286%. Okay, do you remember Intel? The story behind Intel is that it makes chips, semiconductors in the US. Okay, in the US, this is what the Donald Trump or the government is advocating, that they will bring industry back to the US. Okay, so other than Intel, most of other semiconductors, they are produced in where? In Taiwan. And you know, Taiwan, production in Taiwan carries some geopolitical risk. Okay, you understand what I mean, right? So Intel, behind Intel is is made in USA. Okay. The third one I want to have a look is also a darling share, a darling stock for investor. Sandisk, like Micron, it is a maker of memory chips, okay, data storage, and then you can see that now it achieved both of our target we set in our last seminar, webinar. Okay, it broke both target, upside target, and before crashing 58%. Okay, and it is on the upside again, I can say. Now, this stock was just listed on the market last year, okay, in February 2025. Okay, and this year, within this year, 2026, it was up 800% at the high. Okay, the high is about 2,300, also made in June. Okay, and let's see what is happening now. We have a lot of people, a lot of friends and investors. They want to ask, hey, why we are seeing the crash in the semiconductor sector, the stocks? Okay, there are two major reasons. One is profit taking, easy. Okay, another one is deleveraging. Remember, I said that we are playing around. There are a lot of inventions of ETFs, 2x ETF, 3x ETFs. Most of the year ETF, they are bundled with semiconductor stocks. Okay, so a lot of leveraging in the market, and in times, from time to time, the leverage will be washed off, will be unwind. Okay, and that's why we see the crash of semiconductor stocks in July. Okay, will it happen again? Yes, it will. I'm quite certain. But after the July crash, I will say it will happen later, not now. Okay, and then talking about deleveraging. Okay, yeah, deleveraging. Do you know this guy? This young man, 24 years old. Okay, and an ex-employee of Anthropic. Okay, he started a hedge fund concentrating on semiconductor stocks. Okay, he made his hedge fund made a lot of money within this year, before June. Before June, one thing that he did was very harmful, as I mentioned, is that he used a lot of leverage. He used a four times or 5 times leverage to buy the Micron, Sandisk. He was very famous on buying Sandisk, and you can see it crashed 58% in July, and it was very harmful. Okay, and he got margin call. You know what margin call is? That is, he has a lot of borrowing. I mean the leverage from broker firm. Okay, when the stocks on the fall on the downside, the broker, the creditor, they will call for your return of the capital. They will call margin. Okay, this gentleman, unfortunately, had to sell those position, semiconductor position, stock position, to Citadel. Okay, to Citadel, to make his fund survive. Okay, I think his hedge fund still survive, but it went from 64 billion to a very small number. Okay, so we call it deleveraging. And when we talk about deleveraging, this is a very good case to showcase that we retail investors should be very, very careful when doing that. Okay, let's go forward. Now, I know that we have passed the crash, and the main question is, what should we do then? Is the AI stocks, semiconductor stocks bull market is over? Of course not. Of course not. Now, what investors are watching and what investors are finding out is that we have a lot of we see the hyperscaler, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, hyperscaler. They spend a lot of money on CapEx on the AI infrastructure. And what investors are looking for now is if those CapEx could be translate into revenue and into what? Earnings. Okay, so I can tell you, I will repeat this line again and again, that the AI bull market has just started. Okay, we will see investor trying to verify things. Okay, trying to verify that all those high CapEx could be translated into what? Earnings. And I can say they will find that it will exceed investors' expectation. That is, yes, CapEx, huge CapEx could be translated into huge profits. Okay, now let's go for it. Okay, yeah, just a test. Yeah, okay, investors are testing the market. Okay, now one thing before going forward, I have to show you the general market, AI market at the moment. You know what? A lot of people compare the current AI boom to the internet boom back in the year 2000. It is wrong, very wrong. Well, with internet, you can do things. You can do things through internet. You can transfer money. You can buy things on Amazon. Blah blah blah. Okay, you can pay credit card, something like this. However, the AI era we are now seeing developing is something very, very different. In what? Have you got about know about the word called agentic AI agent? Okay, you are not just ask to prompt the AI ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini to ask them question. You are using the agent. We can now use the agent to do things for us. Okay, you can ask the agent to write email, to check for electric bills for you, blah blah blah. Okay, to apply things for you, to do some writing words for you. Okay, even you know what, some of the slides of this webinar, I ask AI to do some fine tuning for me. Very useful. Okay, so now it's just like that. You are employing someone to do things for you. Okay, to do things for you while you are sleeping, while you are having a lunch, or while you are driving a car. Okay, they do things for you. So it is very, very different from the internet era. Okay, and that's why I will say the AI bullish market has just started, and we are going to see growth, revenue growth, earning growth, higher, higher, and higher. Okay, so that's the difference between the internet bubble and we are now in AI. I do not call it a bubble. I call it a bullish market development. You understand what I mean? Okay. Now, at the same time, we know that the AI industry complex. There are a lot of sectors in this complex. Semiconductor, we are talking about now. Infrastructure, we have data center. I will talk about this later also. Developer, okay, equipment, also energy. You know what? Energy. Well, there are something that we have to consume in the AI era. One is energy, another is computing power. All this infrastructure, you can see. Wow. Do you think that this AI era will end very soon? or you call it a bubble? No, you cannot. We are seeing it growing, and growing. And one point I want to point out is that now when we talk about AI development, okay, there are two superpowers in the world that are developing AI. Okay, I can say one is the US, and the other one is what? China. Okay, and for investing in AI infrastructure, that is just a start in the US, and they will go on and on. Think about that. Do you think the Trump administration, the government, will let the AI investment in the private sector stop? No, no, they cannot. They cannot stop. Why? Because there is another superpower coming forward, catching up. Okay, the US will not let it catching up. Okay, and it will increase investment in the AI infrastructure or anything related to AI. Okay, so if anyone tell you that we are now in an AI bubble, don't listen. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. All right. Now going forward, it's very important. It's very important. Now, this is the NVIDIA, and this is the stock. This is the stock price, and no, I'm not going to show this to you. I'm going to show you this one. And NVIDIA is just post second quarter result 2Q this morning. Okay, well, record high result. However, you know what? I think you are familiar with this situation. If a company, AI company, semiconductor company, if it posts a better than expected results, investors are not impressed. Okay, they will say, well, it is not good enough. The result is very good indeed. However, the investors will always say it is not good enough, and afterward you will see share price of that company fall. Okay, in the session, we saw it many times. Okay, we are not surprised, but this time you have to pay attention. Why? Because NVIDIA is the big brother, of the semiconductor sector. You have to pay 1000% attention. Okay, so I show you what happened. Revenue 2Q, second quarter, 96 billion, up 106% year on year. Earnings per share, record high, 100, up 120% year on year. Gross margin 75%, very good. Get me another industry where you can get a gross margin of 75%. Okay, let me know. I cannot find any at the moment. All right, now forecast 3Q revenue 108 billion, higher. Okay, they are focusing record high revenue in the next quarter, and also next year. Now, when we are talking about 2Q, 3Q, we are talking about the financial year of 2027. Okay. Now, they say next year they are forecasting revenue growth of 70%. Okay, this is incredible. Hey, which piece of information you say is extraordinary? Yeah, you're correct. This one. You find me an industry or a company that can tell you that next year, not this year, this year already record breaking, and also next year we are going to see revenue growth 70%. I cannot find any. This is a huge thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to make any takeaway from NVIDIA's result, take this one. Okay, 70% next year growth. Okay. Now, also, I just said that second quarter, 96 billion US dollar revenue. Okay. In this 96 billion dollar revenue, 89 billion is related to the data center. They sell chips for operation in data center. 89%. Okay, it is up 17% year on year. This is huge. This is huge. And data center, remember, and they keep building all over the US. All right, and they will consume what? Chips, memory chips made by Micron, okay, Sandisk, okay, and also some chips made by other semiconductors makers, Intel, AMD, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can really make a lot of projection. I think a very good projection using NVIDIA's second quarter results, okay. Tonight, when the market open at 9:30 p.m. our PM, you will see chip stocks, semiconductor stocks on the rise, rebound again, boosted by NVIDIA's result. Okay, now how about the stock? Okay, stock. Now this is the chart that I made for NVIDIA. Record high at 236. I'm quite confident that next time when we come together for another webinar, this target will be attained already. 236 record high, and well, we can make up to 240, something like this. Okay. And how about Micron? You can see after well 40% drawback in July, we see a uptrend, rebound. I can say a rebound. Momentum indicators are also saying we have seen the bottom. Okay, momentum is turning up again. So I'm quite confident we are going to see a $1,000 Micron share price soon on the upside. All right. How about Intel? Okay, Intel take quite a beating. Okay, I expect that $80 will be a very strong support at the moment. Okay, Intel. Remember the story? Made in USA. Okay, how about Sandisk? Well, in fact, Sandisk make a quite strong rebound after the 58% drawback. Okay, now 1,000 is the clear mark for support. Okay, I'm also bullish on this one. Okay, I hope the result of NVIDIA will bring a start of the next phase bull market for the semiconductor sector. Okay, now let's look at others. AMD. Well, AMD, what is the story behind? It is the second brother of the semiconductor stock. Well, big brother is the NVIDIA, and we always say the second brother is AMD. Okay, well, in fact, it is holding up quite well. Okay, in market bottom around 420, and you can see momentum indicators are making a bottom also. Okay, next phase should be on the upside. Remember, its record high was 585 on the upside. All right. Now let's talk about some other hyperscaler or the Magnificent Magnificent Seven stock, because they are also investing heavily on AI infrastructure. Let's talk about Google. Okay, Google record high is 408. Okay, I'm confident that it will going back to that level. Okay, Google, and you remember last time I spent quite some time discussing the story behind. Well, Google, it is marketing AI chatbot. Okay, it is using a lot of AI. It invests a lot in data center, and also, you know what? It is making its own chip. Okay, you know what? Yeah, and at the same time, I think this company they sent some people going to our webinar last time, and when I talk about Alphabet, Google, why? Because Berkshire Buffett, you remember Warren Buffett, okay, and his company, his big investment company, he has thousands of billions in the pocket, cash in the pocket. Now they have increased their position in Alphabet, and Alphabet is now the third largest stack investment in the firm. Okay, and well, I think these people in this company, they are clever than I, and if they buy Alphabet stock, I will follow. Okay, now last time I said Alphabet, Google is the best AI stock you can have, and well, I still hold that view. Okay, Amazon, okay, in fact, record high 287 just maybe last 2 weeks. Okay, Amazon also invests a lot in AI, and what, when we talk about AI era, there is another thing that we have to talk about: robots. Okay, robotics. Okay, you know what, Amazon has employed, okay, a lot of robots in their warehouse. When you buy something from Amazon online, probably your package is packed by a robot. Okay, fewer and fewer human employees. Now, Meta, and well, you know what? Not all the Magnificent Seven stock you have to follow or you have to buy. In fact, I am not very keen on the Meta, and well, it has a lot of investment in. It has made a lot of investment in AI infrastructure, and but compared to others, I will say that it is not as good as others. Well, if you let me choose, first I will choose Google and Alphabet. Yeah, Google and Alphabet, and Nvidia. They are looking good. For this one, you can see very choppy, and well, and also on technology terms, I think other Magnificent Seven stock, they are much better on technology advancement. Okay, so if Meta rebound back to 630, this key resistance level, well, maybe I will think about it. At the moment, I think it is still under pressure. Okay, next one, Apple. Also, Apple, you know what Tim Cook, the CEO, has stepped down and succeeded by a new one. Okay, they have some what I can say, they, as far as I know, they bully their supplier very much. And at some point, the supplier say we have to increase our price, particularly the memory chips maker. Okay, they cannot bully their suppliers anymore because of scarcity of the chips, memory chips. Okay, and you know what? Some time ago, just a month ago, I was about to buy an iPad, but when I'm going to buy it, Apple announced an increase in price of 30%, and it caught me by surprise, and I canceled my buying. And you know what? It is not a good sign. It is not a good sign that this retailer, this consumer electronics maker, they cannot bully their suppliers anymore. Okay, and maybe they try to bully the consumer. I don't know, but yeah, the same view is that if I can choose, if I have options, I would rather invest in Nvidia, Alphabet, Google. Okay. Okay, next one, Microsoft, also a hyperscaler. It invests a lot in AI infrastructure, we can see now its share price is on the rise. Okay, not bad, not bad. And Microsoft is a software company. And well, you know what? Just a few months ago, I've heard repeatedly people saying that, well, software companies, they are doomed. They are going to fall up in front of AI development. And you know what? They they have been proven wrong, very wrong, because in AI era, in the AI development, we need what? Software. We need software to bring together an enterprise users to AI. Okay, there is a bridge between AI and enterprise. That is software. And no wonder that another software company, Palantir, is doing well also. Okay, on the upside, record high, remember, is 207. 207. Okay, I repeat. If you are keen on semiconductor stocks, if you are believing that AI era has just started and we have a long way upside to go, you should also look at software companies. Okay, I've just given you two examples: Microsoft, Palantir. They are not dying, as you can see. They are not dying. All right. Okay, the last one, tech stock I want to share with you, Dell. Okay, very good technical pattern. You see, at the high elevated levels, it is breaking from a consolidation phase, going up. Okay, record high is just a few days ago, 514, and I'm quite confident that it is going to break it. Okay, on the upside. This year, this stock has already risen 300%. All right. Why? Because this stock, they provide their server. Their servers are also widely used in AI data center. Okay. So also mind this stock. All right. So these are all tech stock that I want to talk about. Last, I repeat this slide I saw last time in June. If any people, any investors, any of your friends talk about, hey, say, hey, AI is a bubble, you tell them it is a still bubble. Okay, it will not break, at least at the moment. All right. Okay. Next, Singapore. First of all, I have to say happy birthday to Singapore for its 61st birthday. Okay, good one. You know what? Just 2 months ago, after the webinar with you, I went to the airport and took a plane to Singapore. Okay, I took my family for a short trip. Well, about a week in Singapore. They love it. They like to be traveling to Singapore. They love the food. Okay, the Gaiyan jam toast, and my daughter, she liked the what's that? Bak kut teh, the meat tea. Right? And we went to some places that not many tourists go. Do you know where we are in this picture? Do you know where? In Singapore. Well, it is yes, it is a university. Okay, now we are seeing Singapore's booming financial sector. Well, it is very easy to point out what are the factors behind. Rule of law, okay, political stability. Rule of law is the holy grail. Is the holy grail, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you. Well, money, capital, money. It has legs. Okay, it will run to where? To the places that is ruled. There is rule of law. Okay, they will not listen to any propaganda or any things that is untrue. Okay, they will go to place, I mean money, capital, they will go to place of rule of law. Okay, Singapore, I can say rule of law. Okay, Singapore's GDP economic growth this year is expected to be 4 to 5%. Well, your government, I mean the Singapore's government, has raised its projection, its forecast. Well, you see, rule of law, economic growth, political stability. This is what attract money, capital. Okay. Now this is what I know. Okay, family office, they are coming in. Well, some banks, as I point out, interest rate are not going high. Okay, interest rate, U.S. interest rate, it has a higher chance of coming down. In fact, I know that Singapore's banks have felt the compression in net interest margin. Okay, however, they have very good sources of non-interest fee income, particularly the Singapore banks. They are very good at wealth management. Okay, let's have a look. Now, this is the Singapore STI, Strike Time Index. Record high. Hey, just like the US stocks, 5,774. Well, just a few days ago. Okay. Well, year to date, 22% upside for the Singapore market compared to what, US 12%. Okay, compared to Japan's 31%. Well, Japan's 31% was also backed up by what? By those tech stocks and semiconductor stocks, just like in the US. Okay, and unfortunately, our Hong Kong and well, not doing very well. Do you agree? Okay, so let's look at the key Singapore stocks. Okay, well, DBS. You know what I'm going to talk about? I'm talking about the three banks that occupy or waiting for almost half of the Singapore market. Okay, market capitalization. Now, DBS record high. Well, you see, in today's webinar, I'm repeating the terms record high, and you can see what the market situation all around the world is. Okay, except for Hong Kong, of course. And record high for DBS. Just maybe last week. Okay, 77.8. It is still on a very nice uptrend. Okay, it seems also that like the US stock, and it make a very nice move after April. But in fact, for the past 2 years, it made very handsome return for investors. Okay, 44% upside 2024, 29% upside last year, and year to date we have 34%. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a dream. It is an investor's dream. For long-term investor, I mean long-term. Okay, not trader trading for 2 minutes or trading for 2 hours. For long-term investor, you hold it for 3 years at least. Well, you can see very handsome return. Okay, Overseas Chinese Banking Corp, OCBC. Well, same record high just a few sessions ago. Okay, also past 3 years, 2 years, very good, and year to date 57%. It is my dream. It is my dream. Well, and the next one, UOB. UOB also got a record high back in July. However, it turns to the downside. And compared to DBS, compared to OCBC, it seems that it lacks upward momentum. You know what? Some things is behind investors' mind when they look at UOB. Okay, United Overseas Bank. Well, you know what is that? Well, as I mentioned, the net interest margin are compressed for all banks, for all these major banks in Singapore. However, UOB got the net interest margin more compression more. Okay, is NIM is compressed more. At the same time, I also mentioned fee. Okay, if bank you cannot make increasing revenue from interest margin, like interest margin, you will make more income from where? From fees regarding wealth management. Well, you know what? OCBC got 24% growth in net fee income, mostly from wealth management, okay, in the first half. Very good. But compared to them, compared to DBS, compared to OCBC, well, UOB seems to lag behind in the fee generation. And also, one thing bothering investor when they look at UOB is what? Non-performing loan. Non-performing loan in Great China. Okay, so if you want to invest in this stock, study more about this regard, about their loan performance and all these fundamentals behind. And also at the same time, I know that UOB, it is taking Citigroup's consumer banking arm in Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and it may increase their operation expenses, and that is another factor that investors are quite concerned. Okay, well, regarding all these fee bank and DBS, OCBC, and UOB, and I can say that particularly for DBS and OCBC, they are looking good. Their chart are good on the upside, record high. But you know what? All these fee banks, and they are not cheap. I can say they are not cheap. Look at their PE. DBS PE is around 15x. OCBC 16x. 17x. And UOB 13x. I mean the PE. All these PEs are above the historical average. Okay, so it is a concern to me if you ask me if we should buy into them at the moment. However, if you are longer term investors, if you have no share in hand, you can consider buying some, but not all in. Okay, you can have some shares. In trading we call it skin in the game. We have some skin in the game, and then we look forward, see if there will be some consolidation that we can take advantage of. All right. So we move to the last stock we are going to talk about today. Singapore Exchange, SGX, also a heavy weighting in the STI. Okay. Look at this. It's past 3 years, 30% 2024, 33% last year, and up to this year to date, 49%. Well, it's very good. You can see that it has broken up consolidation, and record high yesterday. We saw its record high yesterday. Why? What's the data? The information behind is that SGX, more investors are coming to the Singapore market, and they invest through, and they have to pay something for SGX to play Singapore stocks. Am I right? And we are seeing a lot of increasing participation by what? By retail traders, retail investors. This is a very good sign for an exchange. At the same time, have you heard about EQDP, the Singapore's government's equity market development program? Well, it supply 6.5 billion Singapore dollars for incentive to improve stock market liquidity, and this is also another key factor driving SGX at the moment. Okay, So yeah, these are all those Singapore stocks that I want to talk about today. If you want some more on Singapore market, I can talk about it in coming webinars. Just let Philip Lover know. Okay, so I know that Sri has something to show you before we go into the Q&A. Sri?
Yes, thank you so much, Ming Lam. Okay, in the meantime, you can tune in to what I'm saying, right? And at the same time, if you have questions, you can type them to the question box because we're going to dive into the questions right after I've done my very short sharing, okay? Because sometimes it takes some time for the questions to come in on my screen. So I'm giving you some time. Okay, now I'm going to share a little bit about the promotion that we have. I think it's very exciting. So I want to share it with you. Okay, just give me a second to set up my slides here. See. All right. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys are seeing my screen here right now. Okay, so if you can see my screen, Minglam, can you see my screen?
Let me. Yes.
Yes, you can see
100%.
yeah, okay. Okay, so basically this promo we have Minglam talked about the 6.5 billion that will be invested to grow Singapore stock market under the EQDP program, right? So that has been ongoing. And then in the coming months in October, some of the major Singapore stocks, including the banks that Minglam had mentioned, will have the lot size reduced by SGX. So lots of things are going on in the Singapore market. Singapore has set several new highs this year, and momentum feels quite strong now. So riding on that momentum, right? This could be a potential promotion that you might be very interested in. Basically, if you invest, you open an account, you scan this QR code, and you go to the promotional page. You open an account there, and then you invest $1,000 in Singapore listed stocks or ETFs. Okay, Singapore listed stocks or ETFs, and then after you invest 1,000, you maintain your holdings for 30 days. You will get 40 LSS shares free. Okay, this is the Phillip Nova MSCI Singapore Daily 2x leverage product free. Okay, so the market value of these shares are $125 as of 19 August 2026. So you're going to get pretty good value for investing in Singapore. Okay, you get rewarded for investing in Singapore. So the QR code is right there. You can scan it now. Or you can just scan it, open it on your mobile, and then look at it on the way home, or like when you're available after the webinar. And then now I'm gonna go back to Ming Lam, and we can address some Q&As. Okay, just a few more seconds of the QR code so you can scan it, learn more about promotion, the promotional page, and then now we're gonna quickly run through some Q&As. All right. Okay. Okay, now we're coming back to the Q&As. We have lots and lots of questions. Minglam, I'm going to give you sharing rights again, just in case you need to refer to your deck. All right, you have lots of charts there.
Okay, thank you.
And then it should be easier for you. Okay, thank you so much for the active participation. Wow, so many questions. Okay, don't be disappointed if we don't pick you. Okay, let me try. Okay, Ming Lam, I'm not sure whether you have SpaceX on your deck today. I don't recall seeing it, but what's your take on SpaceX?
Okay, can you hear me? Is it okay?
Yep.
Good. No, thank you. SpaceX, and Very good question. Very good question. I think last webinar I discourage investor audience to buy SpaceX at the IPO, and I was right at that time because it dropped more than 50% from the IPO price. And now I think you can start studying this stock and company because I can see some rebounding momentum. Sorry, I do not have the chart today. Maybe next time, if you're interested. SpaceX is getting a bottom, and if I were you, okay, I just mentioned skin in the game. Okay, I will get some a small portion, not all in. Remember, when I talk about Singapore bank stocks, do not get all in at the moment, but you can get some to get skin in the game and well, monitor it. Okay, yeah, good. I will say I will start looking at this stock, and in terms I will buy some. Okay, but not all in. Remember. All right, good. Maybe if you like, I will talk about this stock next time.
Yeah, we could consider that, Ming Lam. All right, so we have a few tech-related questions. Okay, let me break it down for you. Okay, so assuming you mentioned quite a number of AI tech stocks here, Ming Lam. Assuming that I am constrained by my budget for investing, which one should I focus on, or which ones should I focus on? That's the first part. Second part is, are you still bullish in the AI stocks? That's the second part. And third part is, when you talk about AI stocks, and we have AI stocks from all over the world, which are you more bullish on? The US, the Greater China, or Korea and Taiwan? Okay, that's the three-part question for you, Ming Lam.
Sorry, Sweet. What is the second part?
Yeah. The second part is, okay, the first one we are talking about budget, right?
Yeah.
Which one should we focus on? And then the third one is talking about AI exposure from across the world, like US, Greater China, Korea,
Yes.
Taiwan. And then the second one is, do you recommend gaining exposure in the AI stocks sector now?
Oh, okay. Good. Now, three parts. I can answer one by one. First, which stock? If you have a small budget, you have to be defensive. Don't use leverage like that 24-year-old young man who lost billions. Okay, he lost billion because he used a lot of leverage. If you are on a budget, no worry, that's okay. Buy something that is very defensive. Okay, I recommend two for you: Nvidia and Google. Okay, they are very resistant to downside pressure. Okay, and as I mentioned, they benefit greatly. Well, I can say they are the landlord for the AI development. So buy these two stocks. Consider these two stocks. Okay, and second, can you buy it now? Yes. Now we have seen a crash. Okay, I showed you before. Micron dropped 40%, Sandisk 58%, and the whole semiconductor sector 30%. And it is a very healthy, I mean the whole sector-wise, very healthy consolidation, correction. And usually, I myself, I would like to buy at this moment. Okay, and we see that they are quite resistant to downside pressure at the moment. Okay, so well, we do not buy when we like it. We buy when there is a good deal. Now we have a good deal. Okay, country-wise, US, China, Japan, or South Korea. And you see that I've spent a lot of time explaining to you the bull market running in the US, and you know the answer. It should be the US. Okay.
All right. Okay. So let's. Do you have anything else to add, Mingla?
That's it. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Let me jump to another question.
Yeah.
Okay. So all the US and SG stocks that you share are on the uptrend. Like you have US stocks like Nvidia, Alphabet, and the semicon companies. In
Yeah.
terms of the top three with the best value in contrast with its increasing, the top three with the best value in contrast with the intrinsic value, which do you think they are?
Oh, okay. So easy one. I just repeat that as I answered the previous question. I recommend that we should look at NVIDIA, okay? And then we have Alphabet, right? Alphabet, okay? And then you want the third one, right? For the third one, you choose between the three stocks that I mentioned in the, yeah, this one, Micron, Intel, or Sandisk. I personally, I would say Micron. Okay, that is Nvidia, Alphabet, and Micron. Okay, well, Micron, it has well, you know, it's product, the memory chips. They have full capacity. They have sold all their capacity through 2028. Okay, and you have to say well, what after then? Then we are going to see if the AI development will stop there. I do not think AI development will stop there. Okay, Nvidia, you if you are interested, study it. Its technology could not be matched up by any other company. Okay, its technology level is so high level, and it keep raising the bar. Okay, nobody can catch up with Nvidia and Google. Maybe you can review the last webinar. Google, all aspects of AI, including chips, including the general public facing AI apps. Okay, all these things, Google are involved, is involved. Okay, so these three stocks, you can think about it. And they are for the long term, Okay, so are you satisfied with this answer?
Yeah. Minglan, just one last question before we call it a day. And one very quick plug to the audience. Members of the audience, just like me, in fact, all investors are constrained by budget. In case you're wondering, Phillip Nova offers fractional shares trading. Okay, so just bear that in mind when you receive our follow-up email. You click on the link and learn more. Okay. Okay, Minglan. We have a very interesting question from Steve. Steve is asking, will there be an opportunity to buy the AI or semicon stocks when midterm election correction happens in the coming September or October? What are your thoughts? Should we wait or should we get skin in the game now?
Good question. First of all, I would like to ask, why do you think there will be a correction for you to buy in the midterm election? Okay, so now as an investor trader, the fun part is that we predict the market. Okay, I can say predict. In fact, no one can predict. Okay, but we can try to predict. It is fun part. But when you say that there will be a correction in the midterm election, well, you know what? I will say that there will be a boom in the midterm election. Okay, Donald Trump and the Republicans, they will win a landslide, and then if you hold stock at that moment, you will benefit. Well, I am bullish on this one, so I will not wait for a correction that will never come. However, and just as I don't remember, maybe the first question said, should we buy now? I say yes, because what? We have a correction behind us in July. Okay, we have a correction already, and now the deal in front of us is a good deal. We buy now. So so skin in the game, get it now. And I cannot. Maybe you are right, but I cannot predict there will be a correction in the midterm election 7 months later. I can see that in front of us there is a good deal, and I get it. Is that okay?
Hey Ming Lam, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for your insights today.
Thank you.
And a big thank you to Rebecca as well for sharing all the tools that you can use provided by Trading Central when you're a client with Phillip Nova. And audience, best audience in the world, thank you for all the questions. If the questions kept coming, I don't feel like leaving because they're really, really good questions. Till our next webinar, we'll catch you there, okay? And thanks for making this a very engaging session. Have a good night and all the very best in your trading.
Thank you. See you next time.